Today I have um, another wonderful bunch of thoughts for you. I want to talk about your feelings and how not to let them get in the way. So today's conversation is feelings are fuel, not your GPS, and why you as an actor must lead with purpose. You know, in AA, they say feelings are not facts, they're just feelings. And that was something that I found very helpful in my 30s because I was always so into my feelings. I don't feel like this. I feel like this. I don't feel like I can do this. So, as actors, we want to be able to use our feelings to work for us in our acting. But a lot of times, as actors, what happens is feelings get in the way. So, I want to talk about some of the ways that feelings mess you up. So, the first way is they confuse mood with motivation. And what I mean by that is you're waiting to feel ready. So if you don't feel ready, guess what? Then you never are ready. And we don't want that. You know, your career isn't a mood ring, it is strategy. For those of you who are too young, mood rings used to be a ring that when you put it on, it will tell your mood by how what the color was that it would become. You know, if you were good, it was blue. If you were mad, it was red. I mean, it was silly. But sometimes as actors, that's what we do. We are wearing the mood ring on our face. I'm not feeling good today. And um, if you are a professional actor, you have to perform whether you feel like it or not. And so I hope that I'm talking to you because you either are a professional actor or you want to be a professional actor. Because amateurs stay in their feelings, but professionals show up. When I was a regular at the Comedy Store, there were many, 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 many nights where I did not feel like being funny, but I was booked to get in either the OR or in the belly room, and I had to perform. So I had to be on whether I felt like it or not. I had an audience there that paid to see comedy. So as an actor, I learned that whether I felt like it or not, I had to get on there, whether it was an audition, whether it was actually doing a job, that I had to deliver the material. So, number two, you let rejection define you. So if you get rejected, then you don't feel good. Then it can last for weeks and weeks at a time. And I know that one big time because um, I had a one person show I was doing. I saved $5,000 to I had saved $5,000 so that I could shoot it, and I saved the money. I had done some gigs doing the show. And so I was like, okay, I got a crew, I got a producer to do it. And let me tell you, this crew was the worst crew ever. The shoot turned out to be a disaster. I mean, the actual show was great. I performed, I did what I was supposed to do, but they didn't capture the material. The DP, the director of cinematography, put the camera on automatic, so it kept going in and out of focus. So by the time I saw the footage, it was not good. I couldn't use most of it. I was so distraught that it messed me up for a whole year. So I know what it's like to be in your feelings to the point where it paralyzes you. It makes you not do what you need to do. And for me, that was a bit of a rejection because it made me feel like, oh my God, I'm never going to get this done. This is never going to happen. It's horrible. And so the we cannot allow rejection. Maybe you were up for a big part, or you're up for a part and you don't get it. That is part of the business. You're not going to get everything you go up for. The goal is to be so specific in what you go for, and be so specific in what you sell, that you book more than you don't. But not to find a way not to let the rejection of the no devastate you, so you lose a month or you lose a year, like I did with because of my show. When I tell you these things, it's because I have gone through it. I have experienced it. I know what it is to be an artist and to be rejected. You have such hopes for this particular part, but you don't get there. You don't. They don't see you. They don't get you. And what I've learned, being on the other side, is that a lot of times it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with the picture that they're painting and the cast that they are putting together. They're looking for a cast that could be cohesive. You could be the best person, actor wise, but you're not going to fit the whole project that they're working on. So how can you walk not letting your feelings own you and make you a slave? That's what we're talking about right now. Let it be your fuel and not your GPS. Your feelings sometimes can sabotage you because you're all focused in comparison. You're comparing where you are to where somebody else, or you're into the perfection. I have to be perfect. So in being perfect, you don't get anything done. And your feelings are like, well, I'm not perfect, so I can't do it. And I know that one very well. I know it very. And imposter syndrome. When I was in my 20s, I went through a little period where I hadn't gone to college. A lot of the other actors that I was going up against, they had gone to Yale, they had gone to Juilliard, they had studied with the master Grotowski and this one and that one. And I didn't have those kind of training credits. And I had to get past that. I had to not let that get to be the loudest voice in my head of, well, you're not good enough because you didn't do this, blah, blah, blah. And so because of that, I will tell you that because I didn't graduate, I made sure that I studied with the best teachers. So I studied with Roy London. I studied with Stella Adler. I studied with great, fantastic teachers. I was with Roy London for 9 years and with Stella for 4 years. And I've continued to study. Nobody can tell me anything today, because whether I went to a theater-based college or not, I got the skills now. Today I have the skills. I can kick butt. I can. You can put me against anybody, and I will be fine. So number four, something that gets in your way is you avoid the business side. So you feel like, I just want to act. I just feel like I just want to act. I don't want to worry about, where my money is going to come from, or no. If you're an actor, you have to know the business. If you are an actor, you have to be the CEO of your company. You got to read the contract, or at least have somebody walk through it with you so you understand. Because in this day and age, we cannot afford to just be creative and not know the business. And when we go, I don't like that. I don't like it either, but you got to do it. You have to do it to take care of yourself so you can have money coming in. Number five is you miss out on strategic opportunities because you're nervous about networking. You don't know if they'll like you, or you don't go to an audition, or do a self tape because you don't feel like it's right. It's not up to you, it's up to them. So do your best, get out there and nail the audition every time, nail that self tape every time, whether you are right for it or not. Do your best, bring your best, because in doing that, you will get more opportunities. Maybe you aren't right for that. That's something else that I learned. I used to go in and go, I'm not right for this, but I know somebody who is. And I learned that They called me in for a reason. And my job was just to deliver the material as best as I could. I missed out on a lot of opportunities because I either choked in the room because I was like, well, I don't know about this, or I had an attitude. They want me to do this with an accent. I don't do. You know what? I'm an actor. I can do an accent. I can do whatever is required of me that is legal, and that I can use my creativity for. So let's talk about 5 purpose filled or purposeful shifts that will 10x your career. Because what we want to do is move. We don't want to stay at the same place as actors. You know, you don't want what you did last year to do next year. You want to learn, you want to develop, you want to grow, you want to, if you were doing extra work last year or doing under 5 last year, you want to get to meaty stuff this year. You want to grow you want to get better and better and better. Every time you do something, it propels you a little bit more. So the first thing is, because we are now being purposeful. We're not being in our feelings, we are being purposeful. So the first thing we want to do is get crystal clear on our career intention. What kind of actor do you want to be known as? What stories do you want to tell? Start thinking in terms of how can I become that actor? I share with you about my Acting Smarter planner, which can help you. If you get it, it will help you. It will help you start being purposeful, because there's a lot of things in there to keep you on track and to kind of guide you. And part of it is goal setting, right? Having a vision for where you want to be in the next year, the next 2 years, the next 5 years. I like to do, what do I want in the next 5 years, and then work backwards. Where do I want to be in 5 years? Now I start working backwards, and then I start taking the steps to get where I want to go in 5 years. So I'm not just wandering like the Jews did in the wilderness when they were leaving Egypt to get to the promised land. You want to be on purpose. They could have gotten to the promised land in 40 days, but it took them 40 years because they were going in circles and circles and circles. We don't want to be going in circles as actors. We want to be purposeful. We want to be on target. We want to be uh, going towards our goal with pure purpose, not our feelings, but purpose. Number 2, we want to plan monthly, we want to act weekly, and we want to reflect daily. So if you're working intentionally, you are tracking your wins, you're looking at your patterns, you're seeing where you're progressing, no matter how you feel. And my planner really helps you go from week to month to setting your daily goals to keep you locked in and purposeful. The next thing, number 3, is you want to serve, then shine. Not I'm going out there to shine. No, you want to serve. If you really are doing your job as an actor, your job is to serve the piece, serve the play, serve the screenplay. And you're working with other actors. How can I serve this actor? Not do what they tell me to do, but how do I challenge them so it brings the material up? Purposeful actors bring value to set, auditions, self tapes, and relationships. It's not what can I get from this, it's how can I contribute to this. Because if you're contributing, you are getting. If you're contributing, people know who you are. They will recommend you. They will give you opportunities. If you're inside a community, you will learn how to network without being needy. So, are you in a community, an acting community that is helping push you forward? If you're not, I am starting a community and you can be part of it, where I can teach you how to grow within the group, and to be mindful of taking daily steps towards your goal. Number 4, you want to train smart, not just hard. You can be in an acting class with a bunch of actors who have no purpose, they have no focus, they have no vision, and nobody is growing. The acting teacher can't uh, help you get to the next level because they are too are stuck. You want to be in acting classes that people are working. The industry knows that acting coach's name or that acting teacher's name, that they respect them. Um, in the beginning of my career, I was working, like I said, with Roy London and with Stella Adler, and I booked work. I cannot tell you how many jobs I booked because when they looked at my resume, they saw that I studied with Stella Adler or they saw that I was with Roy London. And a lot of times I didn't even, I went in there to audition, but when they saw my resume, when the directors saw my resume, they were like, okay, you got the job. No, that's it. I can't. And it was mind-boggling to me. I was happy, but I was like, I don't have to audition. And they were like, and I remember asking this one director, I don't have to audition. And he says, you studied with Stella. I know you're going to bring your A game. I brought my A game. And so you want to be able to be in classes that everybody is working, everybody is doing stuff. So it can help you align with your path. Where do you want to go? Don't just take an acting class to say I took an acting class, but take one that has value. And in my YouTube channel, Lydia Nicole Alive, I've got some fantastic acting teachers that are giving dynamic tips to actors, and you might want to look them up and consider them. I also have a video on some of the best acting teachers. Look at that video. So if you don't know which way you're going, that could be of service to you. Number 5, um, purposeful actors create, they don't wait. That was something that I learned early on, not to wait for the phone to ring, not to wait for my agent to call. I was hustling. I was grinding. Let me tell you, I would get out my Daily Reporter, the Hollywood Reporter and the Daily Variety, and I would go and look who's getting ready to go into production. What are they doing? I would send them notes. I would send them my pictures and resume. That was back in the day. Today, I would uh, figure out how to contact them either through social media. But first, before I contact them cold, I would start some kind of rapport with them. And then once they got to know me a little bit, and share the secret, you do better when you pick maybe 5 industry people that you really want to connect with to start showing up um, in their feeds. If they make a post, make a comment, something that is valuable, something that adds to the conversation. Do not argue with them, do not debate them, but can you bring them something that is valuable? Can you help them in that post that they have done? Or can you compliment them? Maybe you like, they're sharing with you a movie that they did a couple of years ago. Did you see that movie? Can you say something that you loved about that movie? So you're building a relationship through social media where these people are starting to get to know you a little bit. Then you can come and say, I really love, I love everything you do. I would love to be part of one of your projects. Let me know if I can send you my stuff. Ask permission and then send your stuff. Um, Another thing you may want to do is start thinking about doing your own projects. Can you do a web series, a 1 minute web series? Do 10 little episodes, all 1 minute, that you can put up on social media and share with people. Can you do a one-person show? Can you do a short? What can you do to showcase your talents, what you do, what is your special sauce? Maybe it's stand up. I did the stand up route for a bunch of years because I didn't want to just be an actor. And I found that being an actor who did comedy got me to the front of the line. So that was something, that was a skill set that I honed. I did it for 14 years. I'm part of a CD of a group called the Hot and Spicy Mamita. So whatever you can create that will highlight your talents, That's what you want to start looking at, because that is where we are in this time. It is not just about, oh, you're an actor and you'll be submitted. It is so flooded that you have to have something that's going to um, get you out of the pack and to the front of the line. Can you get out of that pack and come to the front of the line? What do you have that can take you there? So, um, again, I offer you to get my planner, the Acting Smarter planner, to help you to get organized, to get motivated, to help you get out of your feelings. Feelings aren't facts, they're just feelings, and feelings can change in a minute. Or do you need to be part of a community that can support you, that can help you move forward? When I first started in acting, I was part of an acting community for like 2.5 years, and I tell you, it made all the difference in my career, all the difference in my career. And now, as I'm older, I've gotten back into some communities, man, and they have helped me to 10x my business, 10x how I think, my focus, what I'm doing. What are you doing to get out of your feelings and get purposeful regarding your career? That is my question for you. I want to see you win. I want to see you be the superstar I know you are, because you know you are a superstar, but now everybody else has to know you are a superstar. So, um, today, start looking at what you can do that's purposeful and record your feelings. In the digital version of the Acting Smarter planner, I actually have a section where moods are. So daily you can keep track of your moods. Like, oh, I was sad today. Oh, I was angry today, or whatever. And then at the end of the month, you can see how your feelings were fluctuating. What something that I learned years ago was, I would be so depressed. I would get rejected. I didn't get a job. I would be so rejected. And then someone would call with an offer for something. And then all of a sudden, I was happy again. And I realized that my feelings changed really quickly if I got a certain phone call. It didn't stay the same. They didn't call and say, hey, come in and read for this, or we want you to be seen for this. I go, okay. No, I was like excited. So, a reminder, your feelings are not facts. They are just feelings. Your feelings are not facts. They are just feelings, and they can change at the drop of a hat. So what are you going to do for yourself to empower yourself? Use those feelings. Something that I started doing was, I would say to myself, I am saving the drama for the stage, because in my 20s and early 30s, I was so dramatic. I would wear the people out that I was in relationships with, because I had to be on the stage and do stuff. And then I started learning, no, save that for a paid job when you get to go on set, either on a film set or a stage set. Save that, or doing comedy, save that for the stage, not for real life, because people don't need your feelings. So that's what I want to share with you today. I will see you next time. Have a most amazing day and be fabulous today. Okay? All right.